Hi, I'm Terry from Kitschy Cookery, and today we are going to be making some samosas from leftovers. I hope you enjoy them as much as I have. I've already eaten several of them as, purely for test purposes. Anyway, we look forward to you joining us today. Today we are going to be using up some leftover mashed potatoes and making some samosas, which I love to eat. Sup nerds, I'm Terry and I'm in command of this kitchen. So today we're going to be using up some leftover mashed potatoes and we're going to be making samosas. And we're going to be using some interesting things. We're going to be using some of the fresh tortilla skins or wraps that you can get from Costco. And we're going to see how that works out. I've never used them before, so I'm hoping they will work out really well. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to bloom my spices for the samosas. So here I have my cumin seeds and my fennel seeds, and so I'm just going to put those in the hot oil. And then I also have some ground coriander. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to move that oil around a little bit. I want to kind of turn that down. I don't want the spices to burn. And then I'm also going to, I'm going to wait on my powdered spices, but I'm going to grab my ginger and I'm going to grate some in after these go for a few minutes. And one of the things that I do with ginger is I love to buy a huge batch of ginger, and then I actually put it in a bag in the freezer. And that way it lasts pretty much forever, and whenever I need any, I just pull out a piece that's frozen, get my little micro zester here, and just basically zest it into whatever I need to put it into. So we're just going to let that cook for a second, and I'm actually going to go ahead and add my powdered spices as well. This is turmeric.
Why the change?
Well, because I feel like they need to bloom also. And I just wanted to, because these are seeds, they're going to take a little bit longer to bloom. So I don't want to add my powdered spices with the seeds because then they might burn. So I waited a few minutes to do that. So what I'm going to do, this is turmeric and chili powder. So that's going to go in. And when I say chili powder, I don't mean chili powder like what you make, say, chili con carne out of or something like that. It's actually very spicy chili powder. And now I'm going to actually grate some of the ginger in. And that's going to be about a teaspoon probably of ginger. And that's good. And then I'm going to move this off the heat. Because I want to cook the ginger, but I don't want those spices to burn off. That would not be good. So once I get this done and let the ginger cook for about a minute, I am going to add my frozen peas and then my potatoes. I'm going to let the frozen peas cook for a couple minutes. But there's always one. Cook for a couple minutes in the spices just to thaw them out just a bit. And that also has the added benefit of kind of cooling down the spices a little bit in case they were getting a little too hot or burnt. Burnt is not good. Okay, so now that those have cooked in that a little bit, I kind of like to smell it and see what kind of smell I'm getting from it and whether I feel like maybe I want more ginger. And maybe I'm kind of an instinctual cook, so I do this a lot where I'm just kind of like, maybe I'll add a little bit more. But you can see how well that frozen ginger does really well to grate into things. And I don't even bother peeling it, to be honest, because that micro zester makes it so, generally makes it so easy to do it. If I do see some bigger pieces that look like maybe they're the skin of the ginger, I'll pick those out, but it's no big deal. Sometimes peas go awry. That's that one that was stuck in the cup, I'm sure. And you know what? Whatever. I don't have any, I have cats, so they're not really interested in coming and helping me clean up at all. So
bitch peas.
Missing peas. So here's a little piece of the ginger. I'm just going to take it out and put it to the side. The rest of it looks perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and add the mashed potatoes. And you know, sometimes you'll see recipes and they'll say, oh, well, you know, try to make sure that the potatoes are as plain as possible. Honestly, this is my regular mashed potato recipe. And so, I mean, I just made it with milk and butter, and I don't think it'll make that much of a difference once it's in the samosas. So then I'm just going to mix this together a little bit. And I'm actually going to add my garam masala. And this is something I make myself out of whole spices, and we'll cover that in another video probably, because it's really beautiful to watch the spices toast and then to grind it up. And I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And mix all of this together. Oh wow, I wish you could smell that. Once that garam masala hits that heat, it smells so good. So typically samosas would be made with, you know, kind of chunky mashed potatoes, or potatoes that are sort of just smashed and wouldn't have a lot of milk and butter in them. But you know, I say if you got it, use it. I'm always trying to figure out ways to use up leftovers, because I have this horrible problem. I have a family of 4 and I cook like I'm cooking for 20 people. So what happens is that I end up with a lot of leftovers, and sometimes it's hard to get those eaten up, because you know, people get kind of sick of eating, I don't know how, people get sick of eating mashed potatoes for 7 days. I don't know those people, but you know. Anyway, so there we're at with that. And that actually is looking pretty good to me. It's a nice yellow color, which is what you want, because you know, we did have a lot of spices in there that were kind of yellowy. And it doesn't have to be uniformly mixed. Just pretty well mixed, you know, because you're going to actually be letting this cool. And then we're going to put it into... we're going to put it in the wrappers. So for now, I'm just going to remove it from the heat. I'm going to leave it, I'm going to leave it in the pan, and I'll remove it from the heat, and then just let it cool for a little bit. And then what we're going to do, once it's a little bit cool, is we're going to add our lemon. And I don't have it on the board here, but we're going to add a little bit of cilantro to it as well. And then once it's cooled, we'll get to our assembly of the samosa. And we're back with a knife and a kid.
Hello.
So this is my lovely helper, Mackenzie.
Hi.
And also known as Number One.
I recognize her from videos such as Bellingham MMA Kickboxing 1 through 63.
Right, she's an experienced performer at this point. So what we're going to do here is we have these wraps. I keep calling them wraps, but really they are tortillas that have not been cooked. You can buy these in a big pack from Costco, and we love them. We make quesadillas out of them and everything else, tacos. But I really had the idea to try these with some samosas, because I want to see how crispy they get. And this is kind of a shortcut way of doing the samosas. So the first thing you want to do is cut this in half. Okay, so that we have a half of one. And then if I remember how to do this correctly, we'll see. Put a little bit of water, and then we're going to make a cone. Whoops, sorry. Get a little more water on there. And we're going to make a cone. Like that, with the tortilla. And then you see, so we have that, and then we will take a spoonful of our filling, which, by the way, I did add some chopped cilantro and a couple, about a tablespoon of lemon juice to the filling. So we're going to take that, and we're going to it's probably about a tablespoon, I think. I'm just going to pop that in there, kind of push it down a little bit. And now there's a couple different ways I've heard that you can do this. So you can either fold it like this, and then we're going to put a little more water here and here, and then we're going to make it into a little package like that. So you can do it this way, like so. And I'm trying to get it to seal up, and that's going to be the interesting thing to see when we do this, if these wrappers will actually work. If not, we might have to use something like egg to glue them together more than water. But anyway, there's the first one. So we'll put that one aside here. And then I am going to let my lovely number 1 take over and make a couple more. While I go check the oil temperature. We're going to want to fry these. I'm going to pan fry them today in my big cast iron skillet. I do have a deep fryer that I could also use, but I like being able to control the temperature on the cast iron. So what we're going to do is we are going to fry them in that, and I'm going to get the oil up to 350 degrees to do that with. We have a ways to go on the oil, so I'm going to come over here and observe Miss Kenzie.
Observe, huh? No pressure.
Remember not to overfill.
Yep.
About a tablespoon, yeah.
Get it off the spoon. If it'll come off the spoon, that is.
Yeah. And you could even use one of our cupcake things if you wanted to.
Just using a spoon means less dishes to clean afterwards.
Yeah.
That about good?
Yeah, looks good.
All right. Now fold this
You gonna
in.
make it that way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's the only way that you showed me, so.
Well, I think when we made these before, remember that has to really stick on there.
Yep, because we don't want them exploding.
We may need to readjust our thinking here.
Maybe.
But you can also pinch it pretty hard. You don't need to be afraid of it.
Yeah, because this isn't as thin as the wrapping that we used before. That would, like, break if we pinched it too hard.
Right.
This is stronger stuff.
Yeah, so just pinch it to, like, get a good seal on it.
There we
and
go.
then set it off to the side, and then you can do your next one.
Yep.
And, you know, again, this is an experiment for us as well, because what we're trying to do is see if these wrappers will work for us. I've also seen people do a shortcut of using just a regular flour tortilla to make these. But I was hoping, because these tend to be a little lighter and crispier when they are cooked, that that might add some lightness that I feel like was missing with the regular flour tortillas.
Yeah.
Which tend to be kind of heavy. Okay, well, we're getting there, and as soon as we get up to temp, I'm going to drop a couple and do a test fry and see what we come up with. In the meantime, I'm going to get a cooling rack down and line it with some paper towels. Okay, here we are at the stove again, and I'm just going to check my temperature here and see where we're at for frying. I'm looking to be around 350, and we're actually a little higher than that. So I'm going to adjust my heat just a bit. I am going to go ahead and put them in, because I feel like once I want them to be a little bit over 350, because once I drop them in, they're going to cool the oil down as we go. So one of the things that I'm going to look for is hopefully the water is enough to glue these. If not, next time we make them, we might end up using egg as a glue instead of the water. And I'm just going to start my first one. That looks good. Put this one in. I'm just going to I'll probably just do the 4 to start with. So far we're looking good. I like the way I'm seeing some bubbles here, and it looks to me as though they are staying together. And Maybe I'm just in a Star Trek mood today, but does this not look like sort of like the Enterprise logo or the Star Trek logo? Purely coincidental, I promise. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on these, and oh yeah, I like the way that's looking. Look at those little bubbles, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're looking for kind of a golden brown. Remember, the filling is already cooked. So we don't really need to worry about that too much, and we want to make sure that we don't burn them on the bottom also. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just keep checking. I'm going to go ahead and flip that one, and then this one also, and then this one. Oh, look at that lovely color. This one is a little light. I'm going to leave that one for a bit. I'm really encouraged by the fact that they have not exploded. Oh, those look lovely. I think this is going to work. I do. A great new way to not only use up leftover mashed potatoes, but also have samosas at home, which I love. Now you can see that it's not bubbling as much, and that tells me that my oil has probably dropped in temperature a little bit. So I'm going to actually check it again, set these off to the side, and see where I'm at. You always want to keep an eye on the oil, and if you need to adjust it. No, this is perfect. Okay. This one here is going to be the one that's going to take a little while to get color, I guess, but that's okay. And really, this is going to depend on how dark you want your pastry to be. I'm kind of looking for a light golden color. I don't want it super dark. But I'm really looking forward to this because I have a feeling that these wrappers are going to be very nice and crispy. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and take these out and put them over here on the paper towels. Let them drain a little bit before I take them out. And since this is our test run, you know, once we cut one open, we'll be able to see whether or not they need to cook longer, maybe, if maybe the inside is not as crispy or as cooked as we want. And I just want to point out how wonderful these look. I mean, seriously, I am beyond pleased at how those wrappers worked. And I'm really excited about cutting into one of these and seeing what we've got inside. So let's just take one here. Oh boy, they're very warm, so let me see if I can get this. If my lovely camera assistant would love to come closer and closer. By the way, if you notice I'm not wearing my glasses again, it's because I take them on and off while we're cooking, depending on what I need to look at.
You didn't need to say stage freeze. You just do it.
All right, let's see here. Ooh,
That's all warm.
that is very warm. I am liking the way it's looking. It's looking nice and crispy. Let me see. Oh, wow. Ooh, hot. And look, the other half just disappeared miraculously. Wow. That is really, really good. I'm really excited about being able to make these at home whenever I want now. What I would do with these is I actually have some chutney that I made a while back with some extra fruit that I had. So I will just serve these with a little bit of chutney on the side, and that's pretty much it. They are very well seasoned, very crispy, very hot. But wow, I can't stop eating it. It's very good. I do think that I might leave them in the fryer for just a little bit longer, but that's because I personally like them super crispy. These are crispy, but I would do them a little bit longer, I think. Good stuff. My mother taught me not to talk with my mouth full. Anyway, If you like the start of our show here, we have a cooking channel on YouTube now. It's called Kitschy Cookery, and you'll get to see a lovely different cast of characters every time you log in, or if you want to subscribe and follow us, you'll get lots of interesting ideas, I hope, for various cooking things and leftovers and basically just about anything you want. So I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.